Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 284. That's 284. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hi, that's me.
How are you doing today?
Tired.
I could tell by walking in the door, I'm like, I don't want to be in the middle of job X, but here you go, I'm in the middle of job X.
So, there might not be an episode next week. We might have to take a break. We're playing it by ear just because I have a combination bridal shower, wedding shower thing, which took way too long to explain to Eric, and I will not explain to you.
Correct.
It is just for members of the bridal and groom's parties. But anyway, I've been dealing with that, helping Jan with that.
Which
for
sounds easy
the
and
last
convenient,
week, yeah.
right?
And then on Thursday, I totally forgot that my friend Josh had got me tickets to the world's smallest K-pop concert I've ever been to.
Is that what it's called, or was it just
No,
it's a band
called Pixie, and they fucking smack.
Okay.
But they just debuted in 2021.
Okay.
And their biggest hit is 22 on the K-pop charts in Korea. They're
That's
pretty
pretty
big,
significant.
but they don't have much crossover here.
Okay.
So it's like the equivalent of it, and they were playing at the Amsterdam, and it was like seeing the Spice Girls play the Amsterdam. It was really good.
I actually don't know what the Amsterdam is.
It's a very, very, very small bar. I'm not exaggerating. Your garage is bigger than the event space.
Oh.
Like, the entire area for the crowd is about the size of the mezzanine up here.
How sweaty was it in there?
So this is the thing.
This is a good start.
The crowd was very interesting because there were two token metalhead people, not myself included, because I'm just a normal person, but guys wearing battle vests, so the leather vest with all the band patches and spikes on it.
Yeah.
There's two guys wearing battle vests.
It's like an ironic Top Gun.
The person that is 4 foot squared was that was an entire archetype. Oh, they're 4 feet tall, 4 feet wide, and 4 feet. Yeah, 4 feet squared.
He's like an old F1 wheel. I get you.
Yeah, it's 4 feet squared.
Is that length, width, or height?
Yes, all the above. Yep, that was an archetype. Then there were Korean students that definitely went to the U and absolutely knew who this band were,
Sure.
and they were thrilled. And then there was millennial dad, and then 10-year-old girl.
Okay.
That was the crowd.
You're referring to the people in the crowd like auto journalists refer to product.
Yeah.
They drop the S on everything. It's I drove Acadia today.
Yes.
I'm like,
not the Acadia.
Or Acadias or anything
I
like
drove
that.
Acadia.
Yeah. I'm just wow, that makes perfect sense, but I'd never wrap my head around it. So we have millennial dad, 10-year-old girl.
Yes. And that was pretty much the crowd. And then there's one guy who we couldn't figure out if he was a predator or if he was just an old dad. Turns out he was an old dad.
Okay.
Because it was just a really old Korean guy wearing a long sleeve striped polo. And I'm like, oh, this dude looks like he's dressed he literally looks like he came out of a Jackie Chan movie from the 90s.
Gotcha.
His outfit was just super 90s dad looking. I'm like, what is going This is not somebody that lives in real life. And it turns out, no, it isn't somebody that lives in real life. It is totally just a normal dad.
I see the mental image of him in 8mm cassette tape.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah. That's what he looked like in real life. He was, But
that's tremendous.
No, the band was great. Since they have a rather small, they have a rather small catalog still.
Yeah.
They had a lot of audience participation filler stuff in between because they had to fill out a 4-hour thing when they have exactly 4 hours.
We rented this time slot. We're gonna use.
They have
this time
exactly
slot.
4 hours of total music that they've created.
Welcome to discography. That's what we call this tour.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it was. And so, some of their audience participation things were because of such a small crowd, they could actually talk to people.
Yeah.
And they were Korean; they don't speak English, so they had to talk through an interpreter. So they say something, interpreter interprets it. Crowd member talks to interpreter says it to.
If that was well implemented, I could see that being extremely enduring.
It was really cool. But one of my favorite things was they had an open question to the crowd. Said, "What is the most Minnesotan food? We're here for one night, and we want to try. What is your food?" And everybody said,
hot dish.
The Juicy Lucy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Juicy Lucy.
It's true.
And they're like, the Juicy Lucy, and then they had to explain it to the interpreter. The interpreter, who's not from Minnesota, had to explain it to them. He said, they're like, so it's a cheeseburger. And like, no. The cheese is inside of it.
The
and they
molten magma sauce.
And they were like,
cheese.
yeah, cheese goes inside the bun. They go, no, inside the meat. And they go, in the meat? Like, yeah, you have a little cavity, and you fill the cavity with sauce.
I want to know all the hand motions that were occurring in the audience right now.
It was really good.
Like,
but
no. The beef has the cheese.
I also bought my new favorite hat there because I thought, like, if I'm wearing a trucker hat, might as well have a K-pop trucker hat.
You're not wearing it.
I'm not because it is not sunny outside.
Well, it is decidedly not sunny outside.
So, yeah, I did that. Then I came home, and Jana decided that she wanted to dye her hair at, like, 10 o'clock on Thursday. Then I worked 12 hours yesterday.
That sounds terrible.
Then I couldn't get back to sleep. Great. And now I'm here.
Well, so, glad you could make it.
Jana decided on a Thursday at like 11 o'clock, hey, let's go dye my hair. And I'm like, what if we don't? And she's like, already has the dye pack open. And she's already in the process of prepping everything.
Is this just the bunk bed preparation from Step Brothers?
And I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. You had
literally
no, there's a new rule in the house where no activities of any sort are to be started after 9 p.m.
Yep.
For any reason.
That's a great idea. Like,
there's nothing to do. I'm not picking up any fresh projects at work after 3:30 California time.
Sure.
And I'm not picking up activities after 9 p.m. my time.
How dare you try to preserve your mental health?
I know, right?
How dare you, Ryan?
I helped Jana, and I complained the whole time, as you'd imagine.
I've known you long enough where I can kind of get the gist of what went on.
Well, because I didn't want to not be helpful.
I understand.
But I also needed to air my grievance.
You were participating under protest.
Yes, I was. That's exactly what I was doing, participating under protest. But her hair does look wonderful. You'll see it. Anyway, so let's talk about beer. I've got an old style, and boy howdy do I need it.
I actually went beer shopping, so
you have a Hams, and they brought back the old school cans. It's because of Back to the 50s.
Forgot about. Is it really?
No.
Oh, I forgot about this until I unboxed because the actual carton is not updated.
Yes,
it still looks like the modern.
It
Hams,
is. They just have the new
cans inside, still retro.
It's great. USA Today. Speaking of Back to the 50s, they did a top 10 car shows in the United States.
How high were we?
Second place.
What was first?
Like Cruising the Coast.
I've never even heard of it.
Some giant series of car shows that happens in the southern coast of the United States. That's apparently great.
Huh.
It's like a hot roddy sort of thing.
That kind of sounds interesting. I need to look into that.
Let me look up USA Today. Why don't you talk to us about Patreon while I bring this up?
Fair enough. Patreon.com/Carbitrage. On this super custom handcrafted website, you'll find 3 open-ended levels of support, starting at just 99 cents a month. Helps us pay hosting costs and buy the occasional beer. If you want to help us out directly, awesome. If not, we will keep right on making content for you. Patreon.com/Carbitrage.
All right, I have found this, and I'm going to post it in the notes so you can look at it as well. And this will be a little mini topic for both of us ahead of my actual topic. So
let's load this up.
I want to hear what your take is on this. All right, 10th place for the top 10 car shows in the United States is the Los Angeles Auto Show.
So we're counting from least to best in the top 10? Okay.
So there's LA Auto Show.
So I've not been to that event.
Yeah, I can't judge it, but it is pretty dope from everything that I've seen. It's like the ultimate auto show, basically.
Better than the Chicago one?
Way better.
I can't remember.
In New York?
Yeah, sorry.
I think I would probably say so, because New York, you have to deal with New York.
It's like if you were going to pick one domestic auto show to go to in the year, would it be
LA? Probably,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
The
I could
Quail
see that still being good. Oh,
So the Quail, nobody's heard of the Quail. I think that's part of what held it back. Also, the fact that there's only 1% of the population of the world that can afford to go there.
Nobody's heard the name the Quail, but they're very well aware of the event.
Well,
usually.
this is the thing. The Quail, so everybody knows Concours d'Elegance.
Yeah.
The Quail is for people that can. Concours d'Elegance is for people that can't afford to get into the Quail.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's very exclusive.
It is literally, I think it's $600 for entry price for tickets.
Yeah. That's only twice as much as Concours d'Elegance.
Yes. And then the most expensive ticket is $16,600 per seat.
That is a lot.
And that includes a helicopter dropping you off on the green.
Does it include unlimited mimosas while I'm in this helicopter?
Yes, actually more than mimosas, but yeah.
Open bar, dude.
Yeah, people like bring their cars in from around the world. So anyway, Radwood is number 8, which is
I still have yet to go to a Radwood. Have you been to one?
No.
Do you have any desire to go to one?
You know,
We've talked about Radwood before.
I wanted to. It's getting too popular. Okay. And now it's like
is it just too mainstream now?
I guess maybe that's what my problem is. I don't know.
I'm like you. I really like when something is good, but like nobody knows about it.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, it's like a known quantity. Like Darren said, it used to be good. It's not what it is. But like, also, Darren's possibly the pickiest person I've ever met in my life. So I guess I should go. I
would like to
before I
one.
make my
I love how
decision.
rigid they are with their requirements for like year though.
Yeah, that's
just the
really
fact
great.
that those rules are the way that they are gives me some hope for the show.
Yeah, that makes me feel good about that. And then the Triple Crown of Rotting in Lebanon, Tennessee. I do know about this.
What a great city name.
I know, right? But yeah, so the Triple Crown of Rotting is like they call it the premier event for hot rods and trucks. Keyword and trucks, because it is not the Grand National Roadster Show. That is the premier event for hot rods.
Other Ryan tells me about that, and that look it's smacked. He went there this year.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Yeah, Triple Crown is so like people make cars for the Grand National Roadster Show.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed to show. Like if you're going for most beautiful roadster in the world.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to show it beforehand. It needs to be built in the year.
Huh.
It's a really good show. But anyway, Triple Crown of Rotting's like, I want to go, but like, I'm only going to go if I happen to be in the area at the time.
And that's not an area you would probably like seek out as a destination. That's kind of why.
And then number 6 is the Woodward Dream Cruise in Detroit, which is...
Same thing.
I have no desire to go to Detroit.
No.
Cars and Coffee in Pontiac, Michigan.
I just can't... Well, okay, so...
I could imagine that being good, but I also don't want to go to Michigan.
Right, and like... We've already experienced here the world's biggest Cars and Coffee.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Like, it's gone now, but, like, it...
I think what they had to do is, like, things are happening, like, right here, right now. Like, you can't... and then number 4 is Iowa Old Car Show in Iowa, Wisconsin. So this is one that they have 120,000 attendees.
Where the hell is this even hosted? That
Iowa, Wisconsin.
Huge. No, but, like, the venue, it's got a bird's eye shot of, like, the actual place where they have their car show.
No idea.
Okay.
But there's 2,500 show cars, 4,000 swap meet spaces.
Wow.
Yeah, and then 350 for sale corral spaces for like cars that are for sale. It's
huge,
massive. There's concerts and all sorts of stuff that are happening there. What you were looking at actually was the NSRA Street Rod Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
my bad.
As I scrolled down. So the NSRA Street Rod Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky. Now it looks like a good show. That is a very fair show to go to, and I'd actually like to go see that. But
that's huge. Gotcha.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Cool.
I feel like there's other things I could probably do in Kentucky that aren't just this show.
I see what you mean on the photos now because I got to the number 2.
Yeah.
And that's very familiar.
Number 2 is most definitely back to the 50s. And if you're not from Minnesota, it is 12,000 registered vehicles that are all made prior to 1964 and a half.
And all registered via a fax machine.
You cannot get registration online. You have to mail it in.
It's either in person, mailed in, or faxed.
And then in person is more than double the price.
I believe that.
It's wildly expensive.
I looked into it once, and I could not be bothered with the process because it was that antiquated. But
so this is the thing: is it is an antiquated process. But the other thing is they do that. They were very late in adopting any sort of digitization for like kind of a good reason.
It's probably better for it.
It works, and it also is kind of a gatekeeper, and it also really helps people. It helps keep the actual number of cars manageable. Because I imagine that this would be 2,400 or 24,000 if you could just do it online.
A certain level of gatekeeping on an event like this, where it's really got an established long-time ethos, I think is probably essential to keeping it relevant. Yeah,
and well, I mean, there's like kind of an issue with that because, like, I mean, if you really want to get to it, like, they've had declining numbers for years. Yes, their crowd is dying off, but also they're still gatekeeping people from like younger people. Like for me, it was a huge pain in the ass. I was not used to this process. I had to to send my registration. This required me finding a printer. I don't own one that works.
You could always use mine if you need it.
I know, but this was like
I understand.
during my lunch break.
Not relevant.
I had to find a printer. I found a FedEx. Okay, cool. I got the FedEx. Now I have a piece of paper. Well, FedEx doesn't do USPS post. They only do FedEx post. So then I had to take my piece of paper inside of my envelope, which I had to buy, and I had to buy a stamp for it because I don't keep those things on hand because it's the year 2023. I might mail one thing a year.
I mail all of my bills in still.
What the fuck?
Because I need to know what I'm spending where. I don't use bill pay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I use bill pay.
I buy a lot of stamps.
But yeah, I don't have any stamps.
I can give you some too.
Nope.
Next year.
It's already done.
Okay.
I had to get this in before the 15th. I had to pay by check. So
Did you have a checkbook?
No, I had to go to the bank and get a check.
You had to get a counter check for
I had to
this?
get a single check because I don't keep checks.
A counter check.
Yeah, I had to get a solitary check. It cost me an extra $1, but
Yes,
still.
yes, that's true. That's actually a pretty good rate. Some banks are up to $3 for one of those.
Hey, RCU. But then I had to make sure that my bank account had exactly that much money in it, so the check didn't bounce.
Exactly that much, or at least that much?
Exactly, or at least either or. It was for a checking account I don't normally use. You have a pop-up that popped up. Oh, it went away.
Sorry.
And so
Turn off the miner.
After all of that happened, I then had to wait 2 months for them to, or no, a month and a half for them to process the check because they process the check once a month, or not once a month. They process it like January.
Quarterly.
Yeah, like almost quarterly. Like for some reason it was my timing was just. Oh no, I sent it the week that they were actually doing the processing.
Okay.
But it didn't arrive until after they'd processed the checks for the month. So
you had to wait for the next batch.
So I had to wait for the next batch. That's why that was the extra 2-week wait.
Peachy.
So yeah, no, huge pain in my ass. And I also had to buy a car for the show.
Secondary semantics.
That is legitimately something that I would say is a requirement. Is you really need to buy a car for this show.
That is something, I mean, I completely understand because I've grown up around this show, but like, you explain that to anyone that's like a car show.
They're like, oh, it's because they don't let you in. I'm like, no, trust me. Like, there's 12,000 cars, and there's like cool stuff hidden everywhere.
Yep.
Like,
oh, yeah.
You can't just like not go somewhere because you
have,
will
like,
miss something great.
People have factions where they've been parking for like 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not going to change up just because the attendance is different or like
Yeah.
the state fairgrounds is rearranged.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
There's like
it takes a full weekend to see most of it too.
Yeah, no, and if you don't have a car, you're gonna have nothing. Your feet are gonna just be made of blisters. You're gonna look like you followed Moses for the last 40 years. Like it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So yeah, you definitely want a car. It really helps a lot. So anyway, then number 1 is cruising the coast, the Mississippi Gulf Coast, America's largest block party. I guess 7,000 vehicles. Sounds cool.
I couldn't help but notice 7,000's fewer than 12,000.
Quality over quantity, maybe.
Maybe.
Also, the aesthetic. I mean, the show back to the 50s is possibly one of the least aesthetic car shows I've ever been to.
It's getting better, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's still based, let's be honest, in a fairground.
Yeah, and then you have every single boomer's take on what they want to do with their car. So there's no shortage of 20-inch
Oh, those
wheels.
takes are all hot. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Very hot.
I am very quick to bully every single person in the Buick Facebook group that puts on any wheel larger than a stock wheel and puts on
But they're
not
genuine
drum
Foose
brakes.
wheels.
Yeah, and puts on not drums and puts in LS. All 3 of those things you get bullied for in the Buick community, and God bless the Buick community for doing that. That's wonderful.
Like I said, there needs to be a certain light element of playful gatekeeping. That's what keeps the the really niche car community great.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a respect all builds.
No,
I'm
God.
not like that.
Oh, no, that you do not.
I will absolutely clown the fuck out of your old Buick if you build it poorly.
I can attest to that. I've watched Ryan come at several people in the way that he does at car shows, and it makes you feel all warm and syrupy inside in your heart.
Yeah, because it's basically, I don't go outside that much. So I just act like I do on the internet.
But it's all like completely factual too. So when people try to like refute it. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, their reputation ends up being, well, it's because I like it. I'm like, your opinions are bad and you should feel bad.
That's when I talk to anyone about a pickup truck, I'm like, unless your conclusion is because I like it, stop talking to me.
Yeah, no, pickup trucks and AR-15s are the same thing. You should just say, because I like it. Okay, done.
Fine.
Well, actually, AR-15s do have a lot of good reasons. But anyway, pickup trucks, though, are because I like it. Unless you are a farmer or unless you are hauling engines on a regular basis.
Even then.
And trees on a regular basis.
Fine.
Like,
you got me on that last one.
like engines, I get, because like if it's a regular thing, like if it's like you and you're like, once every couple of months you put an engine in the back of the Tesla, that's fine.
I've had the car for 4 years. I've probably had 3 engines in it.
But like, yeah, that's what I mean. But like, imagine if you were doing that every day.
Oh no.
First off, it'd wear the car out. Second off,
fuck the car. Who cares about
second
the car?
off, getting that in and out of the car is gonna suck.
Oh, there's a process.
You
need ratchet straps, Ryan.
Exactly. Relative to just dropping into the bed. Like,
I mean, what about a cargo van then? I would still prefer a van.
A cargo van that's fair.
Especially with like the doors that go sideways or whatever.
That's fair. But then you have like barrier to entry, cost entry stuff. So it's just like an OBS is cheaper than a G20 for a good reason. And you just get an OBS truck, done. Like, there's a shitbox truck that exists to haul engines.
If I had to buy a pickup truck, I would get an OBS 7.3 Power Stroke with a manual.
If I had to buy a pickup truck, well, first I would be a K truck. But if I had to buy an actual,
but like an American pickup truck, because obviously there's great answers in Japan, which my parents.
If I was gonna buy an American pickup truck, I don't want an OBS because I really don't like the fuel injection system on them.
Oh, that's why you get a diesel.
That's the thing, is the diesel. Ooh,
my mother sent me that this morning. They're in Japan right now.
Oh.
What is it? It's a Honda something?
No, it's a Suzuki.
Or is it Daihatsu?
It's a Suzuki, I think. But anyway.
It's so adorable.
Actually, no, it is a Honda Life. What am I thinking? But anyway, if I were to get a truck, I guess I would probably a Bullnose F-150.
Bullnose is the 97?
No, that's the 80s one, the one right after the High Boys.
Gotcha.
Because the High Boys I would want the most, but they're too expensive.
No. Take cost off of there, because like a Power Stroke OBS is a lot of money.
Oh, cost is no option? Oh, High Boy, no question.
All right.
Hell yeah, High Boy. I know. I will tell you exactly what it is. It'll be a High Boy F-250. I think there was a 460 engine option.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's their big block.
Yeah, I'd take the 460. And then I would need to have the locking front hubs.
You gotta have worn hubs.
So you have the worn hubs. You have there's a limited slip rear end option that you have. And then I would do the camper special. The camper special actually comes with a larger radiator, a second battery, cool. A rear step bumper standard, a little toolbox on the side, and then hooks for a tie down. So
that's designed to have like an in-bed camper.
So I'd have the camper special,
like
and then
plow prep package.
I would, if I could find one, I would get the Explorer interior, because the Explorer interior had
a trim level, right?
Yeah. So the Ranger is a trim.
Okay.
And then they have different interior trims. So you can get a Ranger, Explorer, Camper Special. You get all three of those. The Explorer interior, and it would also be XLT. It'd be a Ranger XLT Explorer Camper Special. But the Explorer interior gives you this like really cool like plaid cloth like bench seat. And you have a faux wood applique that comes with the Ranger spec that goes over the glove box, which is great. The Ranger also the Explorer adds a nicer headliner. And then I think they added carpets with that. Yeah.
No,
so
our
all the above.
They make perfect sense.
I would, and I would actually get it automatic because it's a truck and I don't care. That's my only thing.
That's where you lost me.
But no, the reason is the automatic that they had in that truck is like the greatest Ford automatic that you could ever get.
That's before the C4?
It was the C something. It was a 3-speed, and it was just bulletproof. It was.
Well, so was the ZF 6-speed manual in the late Power Stroke OBS.
But this is the thing. If I wanted to have more than 2 beers at a restaurant, Jana could just go drive my Ranger, and it wouldn't be a problem. Problem solved.
I don't know if Jana would actually want to drive a 3/4 ton pickup truck.
Probably not, but like that's the thing.
But it is theoretically possible.
It's the accessibility thing for my daily driver.
Well, like we're talking about the seat adjustment.
There's no seat adjustment.
No,
there's
short
no,
people are best people.
The seat adjustment is you put coats behind you on
perfect.
the bench. Yeah, that's the seat adjustment.
That's how they did it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we've determined now that if there was no budget requirement and we had to have a domestic pickup truck, what we would pick.
Yes, we would. And that also was not a subject. So, let's go to our first one. I'm just going to roll into this.
Let's do it.
Would you like to have the aesthetic of a steel wheel, but you still want the actually good alloy wheel?
In certain circumstances, yes, because there are some steel wheels I really, really like.
So Bridgestone is actually making one. Bridgestone came back with their
company.
They also made very cool wheels in the 80s.
Did not know that.
And they made bicycles. I own one. It's great.
That I did know. I found one at a Goodwill when I was like 8.
They were worth a lot of money now.
I was 8.
They're very good bicycles. Ben, my mentor from JNC, he bought a Bridgestone Kabuki during the pandemic, and
That's a hell of a name.
Yeah, they're Japanese. That's why they make.
I
these
could
things.
tell by the name.
But he bought a Bridgestone Kabuki during the pandemic, and so it doesn't rust. I begrudgingly have to ride this thing, and it is so good. It is. I love it so much. It ruined my Schwinn. I never want to get on my Schwinn ever again. And it was so good, I bought a Peugeot project bike.
Oh, yeah. Scott has a Peugeot still.
Peugeots are great.
They are.
I love it. I think it's so cool. But yeah, so what I like about the Super Wrap, which is also the name of the Bridgestone wheel, which is incredible.
It's got graphics on it. They're only sold in colors.
Yeah. But you can also powder coat them. But this is like a game changer. If you have a vintage Alpha or a car that has actually cool hubcaps, because this could totally mount a hubcap on
What's
it.
the largest size they'll produce?
That appears to be a 16 right there.
Well, then this is perfect even for E30s.
I was about to say that.
Oh, like a 15-inch Steely on an E30?
That would be really good. But still have aluminum Steely, yeah.
And room for a brake package?
Yeah, that would be really good.
Man. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. What the hell is this car?
That is a Nissan March.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like they have 13, 14, and 15-inch wheels.
Okay.
I might have been wrong when I said 16.
No,
yeah, so you get up to a
86
you can get a 15 by 6 production, though they did make a 15 by 8.5 prototype.
Oh, so that means that's probably coming.
Oh, that'd be really
You
good.
could
That's
fit a
what's
lot
on
of
the
meat on
A86.
that. 15 by 8 prototype?
That's Masahiro Sasaki's Sprinter Torino. A Sprinter Torino, and he's a he's a Gazoo racing guy. And God, that's awesome. I love that. But so basically you can get them 12 to 15. So this is actually a great wheel.
A 12-inch aluminum wheel.
I love it.
So good.
Yeah. And this is probably cheaper than a set of AC Courgets, which I really want.
Yeah, I will take your word on that one.
You've never heard of AC Courget?
It sounds French.
Yes, it is. Control T and look up AC Courget wheel.
C-O-R-R.
It's French spelling of Courget.
Yeah.
Wheel. You can keep wheel in there because it's also a fashion company.
Okay. Wheel. I probably spelled it wrong. Yeah, I spelled it wrong. Well.
How are you having trouble with this? AC. Courreges.
Oh. That one actually has no results. Anyway.
How are you not having any results with this? I just looked it up.
I'm probably... Oh, it's because I'm using Bing, probably.
Oh, here. 1 second. I'm adding the link right now for you.
Okay.
I can't believe you've never heard of this wheel. This is the greatest wheel of all time. I'm literally not exaggerating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating.
That looks like a good version of the first gen CRX wheel.
This entire lineup of wheels doesn't miss. AC Courget.
They all... Oh, my God. This is... Yeah, I don't know. Ronald Teddy Grahams are pretty good, but
these are incredible. Look at that. They have hearts.
Corrigé. Oh, yeah. What the hell?
Just a giant AC.
Oh, my God. These are just Super XT factory wheels.
Yeah, and they were made for K cars.
All right, yeah. So everyone, picture in your mind, if you're not looking at the video version, first gen CRX buttons and every single Subaru turbo wheel from the late 80s and early 90s.
I like the little river flowing one. But that's
doused in paint.
Oh, they're incredible. I absolutely love them.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's something. It's something for sure.
They are so incredible.
I don't know how I feel about that, but I really like unique, weird shit.
That's what I mean. It's just an incredible, perfect wheel.
Oh man.
But yeah, most AC Courgettes are like 12s, 13s because they're usually purchased for people that had K cars.
I could tell by the era in which that magazine was scanned.
Yeah.
The resolution behind it.
Well, the thing was, in the 80s during the bubble economy, you would get like a K car because it's free to park. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like, you don't want to have like, everybody's. You don't want to look like a pauper if you're a salary man. Like, so what you would do is you would get like.
You don't want a Honda City. Everyone's got one of those.
Well, no, that's not even a K car. Like a Honda today is a K car.
It shows what I know.
Yeah, it's smaller in a city. So like, if you imagine like somebody would get something like a Today or like a Daihatsu a Daihatsu a Tri, that was the name, a Daihatsu a Tri, or like a Suzuki Servo.
Is a Wagon RRR a K car?
That was but
Okay,
that was
good.
later. That was after this.
Okay. Yeah, but you could retro the wheels.
Yeah,
on, right?
you could. Yes.
Perfect.
Altos, Suzuki Altos are K cars.
Beauty.
So you imagine like people like get these cars and it's like, well, I make enough money where this car is effectively free.
Yeah.
And I just get it because it's an appliance, but I want it to be like, I don't want to look like a normal person. It's the equivalent of having like the best iPhone these days, where an iPhone effectively is an appliance, right? Yeah, but it's an appliance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is a commuter car.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I feel the same about that device as I do for my daily driver.
Yeah, but like having the best one, like you could get by with a whatever iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get the best one because
of YouTube.
And you can. It's not like it's no difference effectively in your daily life.
This is the one I actually use, which is 3.5 years old and is not high end.
So like imagine that's kind of like how a car was for a salaryman in Japan in this era. And so what you would do is you'd get, you'd upgrade them to not only look better, and that's where AC Courgette got like huge, and they're like a fashion brand. They're like, oh, this is the market. Like people want fashionable wheels, and so like Spalding, the tennis company, they made wheels.
I knew that.
There's a ton of fashion brands made. I think like Reebok made wheels even. Damn. Michelin made wheels. Like everybody made wheels for the Japanese market in the 80s, and
God,
so like
crazy.
Yeah, and so like the Bridgestone Super Wrap, that kind of falls in there as well, because that's where if you didn't want to have the harsh ride of a steel wheel going over like bumps and stuff.
Yeah, unsprung weight.
Yeah,
is huge.
It cuts down the unsprung weight, but you can have something that looks a little bit nicer, but not something as over the top as AC Courgette.
Nobody's gonna steal your aluminum steelies.
Exactly, until people find out that Super Wraps are actually pretty smack.
Yeah,
and
if they read the text on it.
You go, whoa, that's a good wheel.
Of which there's a lot of text on them, by the way.
There's a ton. It's an entire book.
That's how you know it's Japanese.
Yeah, it increases literacy rates and thieves.
They become the Pawn Stars of the
wheel. Yes, they do.
Like, yeah, I know what those are.
But anyway, let's have some EV world updates and come back to modern life.
Let's do it up. So BYD, I think, they're actually the largest electric vehicle manufacturer in the world.
And they make incredible, adorable cars.
They do. Unfortunately, like everything that's currently testing in the States, of which there are a lot of them, they're usually like the larger sedans. And there's already a bunch of just crazy shit going on with these cars where, for now, the prototypes are rolling around. Don't say BYD on the back. They still say build your dreams. There's no actual like model naming on anything. And the number on the badge is actually reversed. So the lower the number, the better, because they do 0 to 60 times the badge.
I love that.
Really
That's
cool.
so cool. 1 second.
Sure.
Speaking of Asian vehicles and not from Japan or South Korea, VinFast shipped their second batch of long range SUVs to North America, and there's 1,879.
That's actually a pretty big batch.
That is a sizable batch. Yep.
Congratulations on the Vietnamese VinFast for getting your batch out the door.
Once I see one in real life, if I can afford one, I'm going to buy one.
I believe you.
Like,
I
absolutely.
can see that look in your eye.
I want this. This is my new Primoc Teos.
You're gonna rip, little buddy, about the war. How Vietnamese is the wrap gonna be that you put on your VinFast?
It's literally just gonna be a Vietnamese restaurant menu. I'm just gonna get a 79 menu.
Perfect. Oh my God.
No. Better yet, it's gonna be a collage of photos of Ho Chi Minh. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. It's going to be like a lowrider style collage of Ho Chi Minh photos. Anyway.
I know.
Carry on.
I really want this. Anyway, so Still talking to BYD, Build Your Dreams. They are now, and it's uncertain whether or not this will come to the States because we don't officially have any BYD products coming here, but they're coming. So
Yeah, no. Well, in the same way that we don't officially have a Foxconn laboratory, but there's Church is one in Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do things here because we have to, just for brakes and everything. But the company's interesting because we've heard of what's that little micro car, the electric one with the,
I know it's really cute. I'm blanking on the name.
this one, the Wuling
Cherry
Mini.
Wuling Mini. Yes.
So those cars are awesome, but they are cheap cars and they're inexpensive cars. But BYD is aiming to not make the the inexpensive car feel cheap. So the car I want to talk about, and I put the name in the notes. Bear with me because we've been talking.
No,
So much
it
here,
is a
but
BYD Seagull.
that I knew it was a great name, so I had to say
It has an
it.
incredible name.
The BYD
I'd buy that.
Seagull is
Yeah.
a little.
I totally want to I want a
five-door
communist
hatch.
car. I love communist cars, and now I have a really real possibility of getting one.
And like I'm sure this is made, all the components are probably the same manufacturer as the Vietnamese VinFast, because I mean, let's be honest, they're all Chinese sourced components. But this thing has a starting price in US dollar equivalent. I know that's not the same as starting price, but of 14 grand, and it has a 189 mile like US range. They're quoting it at closer to 240, but it's like the Chinese cycle, and a lot of that's much more city driven. But I mean, they've shown interior shots, they've shown fit and finish details on this thing, and it honestly, it doesn't look too bad. It reminds me of like a Yaris shape and size.
It's like a Yaris and like a Nero, like got
yeah,
together.
the back's very Kia.
Yeah, it's a
but
very
the side is very
It's
Toyota.
really good. I like this a lot.
And it's in like mucus green, so I love that.
Yeah,
already.
this is a really good like metallic chartreuse.
But I mean, it looks like a pretty nice product, and if they could bring that to the States,
75 horsepower, goes 80 miles per hour. Hell yeah.
it's enough. And
Nope, that's
honestly,
good.
it's
No.
14 grand, and if they could somehow source the battery materials and get a factory
This
set
is
up here.
more realistic than a VinFast for me because it checks more boxes.
Also, you know what? This would fit on your driveway.
Guess it wouldn't. VinFast would not.
Correct.
VinFast I'd get sold so I can say I own Vietnamese
So I
vehicle.
mean, maybe you need a Seagull in your life.
I do. I definitely need this. Trust me, a VinFast on every level is a terrible idea.
Well, yeah,
But I
it's
also-
Vietnamese.
You know, this is the thing. When I look at the VinFast, it reminds me of the Toyota Crown that was imported to the United States in the 1950s. And I go, you know what? I have the opportunity.
be that
right
guy.
here, right now. I can get the Lexus LS of the 1950s.
And then, when you're done with it, you can abandon it in a rural part of the desert where
Yep.
nobody will find it for a very long
And then
time.
I'll make a great social media story
Correct.
50 years
This
later.
is going to be perfect.
Or it'll just get wet and land on fire.
Well,
one of the two.
No, the battery will go flat at some point. It will be fine. The electrolyte loses anyway. So I'm doing like a general EV update here. So that's the BYD story. I do briefly want to touch on two other companies.
Okay.
First one, you're not going to believe this. Tesla has now cut prices again
Ah, shocking.
twice,
You know, you don't even have to worry about...
and then raised them.
You never even have to worry about depreciation, like destroying the value of your car. and
Company's
being
doing it
upset.
for you.
Yeah, no, don't even worry about that.
The entire user group is full of people just beside themselves that the car that they bought 2 months ago is now like 20 grand underwater. I'm like,
Shocking.
yeah,
you own
well-
a Tesla. You own that Tesla. Like you own
Yep.
that car.
You made
for
your
better
grave
or worse.
lay in it.
Cars I would never buy. Tesla. Yeah.
Everyone always asks that. I'm like, I love EVs. We'll never buy a Tesla again.
No, they're terrible. I told you they were terrible.
Third EV thing I want to talk about very briefly. Polestar has now announced the Polestar 4.
I saw Polestar 2, the one that's just a normal sedan.
Yes.
I saw one the other day. It was
They are
very good.
good-looking cars.
I like that a lot.
I do like the Polestar 2, and they're heat pump cars, which is great.
Oh!
Yeah.
Why doesn't Scott have one?
The battery range was not enough, or there was no tech. There was some good reason. I can't remember.
I guess he has a Jag, so that's worth
The
it.
Jag. I do love the e-Pacha. That thing is really
Yeah, he has a
thoroughly
Jag. Good.
I borrowed it.
I can't
from-
believe that he is the first member of your family to buy a Jag.
He wanted to get an Ioniq 5. I'm like,
No.
that's now more money. Get the I-Pace.
Yeah. Also, you just got burnt by Hyundai. Like, why would you get another Hyundai? I got burnt by Hyundai. I'm gonna buy another Hyundai.
Hear me out. He's getting really good at lemoning cars. He's getting really good at suing automakers.
He's single-handedly making the world a better place by suing automakers.
He's been paying on the ID4 for over a year now, just waiting for the company to settle and pay him out. So I really look forward to the ID4 saga finishing. You remember the Nero saga? That was only like 7 months. This one is now well over a year, and the court date is in next calendar year.
I am so thrilled that I was right.
Oh, yeah. Just unequivocally.
I'm like, they're going to find a way to fuck this up. And you're like, no, there's nothing that can break. I'm like, there's a solitary moving part. They will fuck it up. And look what they did.
And you know what? It wasn't even like a VW. It was high voltage. It was part of the electric part of the car.
Incredible.
And it was one of, like, Scott will correct me on that number, but it was hundreds of units worldwide. It wasn't all of them. Like, he happened to get one of the tiny batch of cars affected by this.
So speaking of Volkswagen.
Anyway, Polestar 4,
yes.
It's meltier, faster, more expensive, and it doesn't have a back window at all.
What?
Yeah, it uses cameras and no cameras, so no.
That's bad.
Bad. Don't buy that. It's like $12,000 more than a Polestar 2. Screw that. Don't buy that.
You know, I'm not inherently mad about the no back window because, I mean, a Tatra didn't really have a back window.
Oddly enough, that was in the article. It compared like a Tatra, a cargo van, and the Polestar 4. I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
I'm not inherently mad at that. It's just I know it's not what I'm hoping for.
I can't see any upside over a Polestar 2. That's it. So
yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so the International Harvester Scout is coming back.
That's kind of cool.
As a Volkswagen, which is not good.
Oh no!
But you're probably going, wait, what? What the fuck? Also, it's an EV.
Is this like the?
And you're probably really going, what the hell? How the what?
Is this the Dodge Power Wagon rights thing all over again?
No, this is more convoluted. Oh, your Bentley flag fell.
Oh no. Anyway,
I need to get to. They have it written down here. Or 1 second.
Apparently, my posterior is too voluptuous for that flag.
Control T. No, I need Control F, not Control T.
Oh no, you've made a new tab.
Control F does. Oh, there it is. All right, so they acquired the Scout moniker.
They being Volkswagen?
Volkswagen acquired the Scout moniker when their Traton truck division took over Navistar. Navistar was started by International Harvester.
And they made the Power Stroke.
And Navistar... So Navistar is actually... I'm sorry. Was purchased by International Harvester. And that was turned into its own thing, so International Harvester could just concentrate on farm implements. So Navistar somehow had acquired the 1970s International Harvester truck rights.
Okay.
So now Volkswagen's going to make their EV Jeep thing.
Is literally the Power Wagon. What was the Canadian one called again?
The Fargo?
Yeah, the Fargo. This is literally the Fargo Power Wagon all over again.
It's kind of cool because it looks like a really good Rivian from like these like little drawings they have.
I mean, that's great, but it's going to have so many recalls. It does look like a Rivian.
It looks a lot like a Rivian. However, this is the thing. They've ruined the name. The name sucks. Whatever. It's not a real one.
Can I put Warren Hubs on it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's got the hub motors, I imagine.
Fine.
But this is the thing. I've been saying for years that Jeep needs somebody to make a Jeep so Jeep can make better things. Because like as soon as nobody else made a Jeep started sucking. Because when was the last time that there was a equivalent to a Jeep made?
Now, the Bronco.
I know, but before this.
Oh, God. Well, in this country, like 40 years.
No, it was the 90s. It was the 90s.
The Stomach and the Scout in the 90s?
No, but you had a Suzuki Samurai and the Suzuki Sidekick.
Small. That's not like.
And you had the soft top.
Okay, well we had the Tracker. That's kind of Jeep-esque. Yeah. We had the Kia.
That's what I'm talking about. It was the Kia Sportage. It was the 90s.
Okay. Well, no, those are 2000.
And if you think. Nope, the Sportage, they killed the soft top Sportage in like 2001.
Oh, okay.
And the Tracker became just a 5-door Chevy in like 99.
When they improved the build quality and it got way worse.
Improved, quote unquote.
Well, they did make it sturdier, but it became a boring vehicle at that point.
Yeah, sturdiness has never been something you need with a 4x4.
I had to explain to somebody today that worse cars are better.
Yeah, no. Well, Johnny understands now.
Yeah.
He bought a Mirage.
Is he loving his Mirage?
I assume.
Well,
How could you not?
Well, I love a Mirage.
But anyway, so Jeep needs somebody to like kind of kick their ass a gear, because like if you think like as soon as the Sportage became a Rav4, and you can imagine like that kind of coincides with Jeep like killing off the XJ and then like getting really lame with that awful early 2000s Cherokee and then like all the other Cherokees after that, and then you had like the V6
it was like ZW or ZY or something.
Yeah,
the 4.7 liter one.
Yeah, and then you have like now you've got like the V6 Wranglers that kind of suck.
Yeah, but you can still get them with a 6-speed, which is awesome.
That's fine, but they suck as an off-road vehicle. And like the last good Jeep was like the Wrangler Unlimited, so like they made it about 6 years before they started sucking. Because after the Wrangler Unlimited came out, they've made nothing good since.
Well, and that came out in the TJ series too.
Yeah, it was the very last TJ, so they made it extended TJ.
Yeah.
So
boy, howdy, are those worth some money?
Oh my God, they're insane.
TJUs are insane. I don't get it because they're not like better than a JKU.
Oh, they are. They are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, they were much better.
Is it just because they had a 4-liter?
Yeah, they have the 4-liter inline 6, but like it was kind of like the final version of the Wranglers that were based off of the CJ platform. And they'd kind of, like, by extending it, they made them a lot more livable, but, like, also they shortened the overhangs by extending it, which made it better for off-roading.
I suppose. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So
it's compromised. I like it.
Yeah, like, that's actually really great. Like, they made it better. Like, the TJUs are actually really good Jeeps.
I remember not liking the TJU when it came out, and now, like, I would never consider a two-door Wrangler.
Yeah, no, the TJU is just a 2-door Wrangler. It's just the Unlimited's a 2-door.
Unlimited is a 2-door? I thought Unlimited meant 4-door.
No, it's a long boy 2-door. Look it up. TJ,
yeah,
it's really cool. It's an extended Wrangler 2-door.
Wow, dude, I did not know that. Oh, what the hell? They did make a 4-door TJU, right?
Nope.
No?
No, they just extended the rear end like 8 inches. And it makes it like a lot more livable.
Yeah, but the ride quality is significantly
better. And then,
better.
like, if you look at like the front, there's like no front overhang. The rear overhang they cut down a lot.
Yeah.
Because they just moved the whole axle.
They didn't make the door bigger. They literally just
made
all the gaps bigger.
They made they extended the body work. They just added like a flat piece of sheet metal.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and so TJUs are actually worth like significantly more money because of that.
I knew they were worth a ton of money, but yeah, wow, okay, that is news to me.
Yeah, so they're very cool, but like after the TJU, they haven't made anything good because why? Who cares? And they have no competition. Now you have a Bronco. Now you have the electric Scout. So if Volkswagen can make a Scout that's electric, that's off-roadable, that would actually be really cool. Because so far there's not been a single off-road EV, and it is possible. You don't want it, really.
I really want to try a Wrangler 4xe. I bet that's fun.
I don't think so. But I also have absolute disdain for every single like manly Jeep. So
yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. Right now, it's no, but I feel like in 20 years' time, that actually might be a pretty interesting vehicle.
Yeah, probably. I mean, this is the thing with the Scout. If they made this like actually like off-roadable, that'd be really, really, really cool.
It should be.
Because like
look how good off-road the Rivian is. That's electric.
And that's the thing is like if you can make a Rivian that's like you don't have to worry about breaking things.
Also, it's affordable.
Yeah, like that's really good. Like all you need to do is have insane range. All you need to do is have insane range
and make it cheap.
Yeah. No.
Wow.
No, but like you don't need to like. What I'm saying is you don't need to like give it like. You don't need to give it like $20,000 worth of creature comforts. You don't need this because like a Rivian's like what, like 60?
No,
like 80.
Yeah,
it's like 80. 80's starting price.
If you can get one under like 90 right now, you're doing really well.
So your Rivian's like that's a 6-figure vehicle. Now if you could just make one be like a 60 or cheaper.
Yeah. Make it out of like regular car stuff.
If you can have the price overlap with a Wrangler, that's what you're looking for with this.
I think that's probably doable. I mean, look at battery tech in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Not only how much it's improved in like power to weight, but also the cost per kilowatt hour. It's insane.
Yeah, so I mean, I also have zero faith because this is a Volkswagen.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be broken.
They're going to fuck it up on every level. But also, while it is a Volkswagen, I still feel like, they have a chance to not fuck this up. They will. Don't get me wrong. They will. but they can...
prompted me. Volkswagen has just updated the rear motor on the ID vehicles.
Whatever's, yeah.
Why would you update it? It's more powerful, it's more efficient, but like now that's going to have its own recalls. Just fix the one you already made.
That's not what Volkswagen does. I mean, more power. Make people smile. People make a bunch of really cool posts. And then their shit breaks down.
There's going to be so
second
many
it's out of
lawsuits.
warranty. And then Volkswagen goes, they look back through their social media history like, yeah, you beat on it. It's like, yeah, I owned the car. Weird.
I drove it like
as a vehicle.
It's
Oops.
very strange.
Anyway, let's move on.
F me, right?
Let's talk about the new G Wagen platform.
All right. So the W463 is like the OG G Wagen, WAGEN body style. Mercedes, I have no idea why. I think it's because it's their 500,000 production model. But they took a 465, which is the current like independent front suspension one, and they made it look like a 1986.
That's actually really cool.
G300.
I like the look.
And like
that looks great.
Why don't they just sell that? That looks way better than a G63 AMG.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's hunter green with like matte paint.
There's enough defunct 1980s German tuning houses that they could totally buy the rights for one of those 100%. And make like utilitarian versions of their cars under that name.
Oh yeah, but like it's perfect. And they took like the 2002 G500 wheels.
Like you could totally have like a Mercedes G300 or whatever Cefiro.
Oh yeah.
And then just like have the Cefiros, instead of being wacky hatchbacks, have them be like base model looking cars. Like, yeah. And then have them cost as much as a normal one. I don't care. Sure. It's a Mercedes.
And they do. This is $176,000.
Price is completely irrelevant with Mercedes. If you're getting a G Wagen, you have enough money. You have fuck me money.
And at some point they're going to do a 4x4 squared one of those, and then they're going to do a cloth top
Great.
one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just have them be all be six figures.
Good.
Yeah. The
fact that you can legally make a car that looks like that and functions that way today is amazing.
That's what I love about trucks.
G-Wagons.
Trucks have like the bare minimums of safety requirements.
They're somehow just exempt from everything that matters in the world.
Yeah, no, I mean that's one thing lobbyists have done for us. So that's good. So
thanks, lobbyists.
Speaking of old things,
oh my God.
I want to talk about. Did you know NASA made a hot rod?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you know that they made a hot rod to test a flying bathtub?
Well, I didn't know they made a hot rod, so I definitely don't know about what the hell?
It's a flying bathtub, isn't it? So you're probably wondering, you know, the space shuttle
that is a confusion.
Comes in from outer space, right?
It does, typically.
Yes.
Unless it blows up first.
Yes. So it comes in from outer space, but like if you look at its wing area, doesn't have that much actual wing area. It's got pretty small wings.
No, yeah, it's like a glider. It's not an actual airplane.
So, what that is a lifting body.
Okay.
And lifting bodies were theorized by NASA. It's actually theorized in Nazi Germany because everything was from there. But nobody had ever actually made a functioning one. So, at Murak Airfield,
I love that it has an N number.
I know,
like
right?
It's actually an aircraft.
Yeah, no, it needs an N number because it is a flying vehicle. So a little bit of background here. NASA in the 60s they had like unlimited budget, so they could test whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah.
And one of the things is there was a scientist that had like literally a $20,000 budget to make a lifting body concept.
Okay.
Based off some plans that were theorized that never actually like prototyped during World War II. He made it out of plywood, and it flew a little bit. But like the thing is like they had like a tiny version of it that like flew, and they're like, okay, this is functional. And from there, they actually got real funding. But the thing is they needed it to go. They had a limited space because they had the airfield that they were at, which is Murak Airfield's the largest natural airfield. It's a dried lake bed in California.
Okay.
But like it's also like you can't just like have forever to get up to speed. So you had to yeah, and so you
a
also
long airfield is enough to get like a modern car.
It's the thing is you also had to have a lot of torque, and you had to be able to go really fast. It had to be a convertible because you had to be able to spot it and everything. You had to have the scientists inside the car
There's like
watching
5 people
it.
in that thing.
Yeah. So you had all these distinct response was like, you can't just like go get a Ferrari 250 GTO and hope for the best. Also, it's like 100 degrees at all times.
Great.
Yeah.
Just ideal test conditions.
So this is what you need an American V8 for. So the scientist that was behind this they had like a resident hot rodder. Like it was like one of their mechanics happened to have a lot of like background with hot rodding.
Okay.
And they just like gave him like a blank check and they said, we need a car to do this job. You go make that. And so he chose a Pontiac Catalina because it has the wide track suspension system where the wider body actually gave it more stability.
Yep.
It needed to be a convertible, and it needed to have a large displacement engine so they could go quickly, but also not overheat the car like you would with like a Ferrari in that era. And so that's why he got a big block Catalina convertible, and they put a roll cage in it. And
which I can't even see in this photo.
if you look really closely in the fat dude's shirt, you
I
actually
see a
roll
hoop.
cage.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a roll hoop there. But he like, actually took it out to like a hot rod shop, and they tuned up the engine. They like raised the compression on it. They gave it like a tri-power intake manifold, like tubular headers, like dual exhaust system. A hot cam and everything. Like they actually made it like really cool, and then they gave it the actual like paint scheme that you would have of a pole car, which was white with a safety yellow stripe over the top. And so people didn't think that it was just somebody getting a bright idea, like some like overpaid like government official.
Sure.
They actually wrote like property of NASA, the rocket airfield on the door. And if you actually scroll down through here, they have some more photos of the car. But they needed to be able to go like 120 miles an hour in like under 30 seconds while pulling a 4,800 pound load.
Jesus.
So this is what they made, and it makes all of that.
Oh, there's a better photo of the hoop. Yeah.
And yeah, it would actually do it very well. And they put drag slicks on the rear, so like it actually needed slicks to like be able to like put the power down.
What do we know about 60s cars? They had bias ply 175.
Exactly. So they put on some like radial drag tires in the rear, and they made it go. But that's the thing is, it went like 130 miles an hour, like, and I think something like 30 or 40 seconds or something.
They probably
I think
had
when
to
they were done
swap,
with it,
like the rear gear on that thing too.
Oh no, the rear gear was like swapped out and everything. But like that's the thing is they had to like actually take it to a hot rod shop.
Right. Well, I mean, it helps when they have an actual set of specifications that the car needs to hit, you know.
But yeah, so there's this hot rod shop called Stropes, or it is owned by Sparky Sparks is the name of the guy.
Of course it is.
That ran the fabrication shop, and he had this guy named what's his name? It's like Whitey Whiteside, I think was his name. They all have like wacky
Sparky
names.
Spark and Whitey Whiteside working on your Pontiac Catalina convertible.
Yeah, it is Whitey Whiteside. Oh my god, I was right. Good. Walter Whitey Whiteside was the name of the engineer who built this. But yeah,
that dude must have been lit.
He would like drive
street racing scene.
He would drive like a 32 to work, like a 32 like roadster to work. Like that was his car. It was awesome. Like it's just an awesome
Whiteside,
guy. Yeah. And
all I can hear right now on my headphones is international speak.
But all right, so this is the thing. It had to tow what was ultimately 4,500 pounds after like accounting for drag and everything.
Yeah.
At 140 to 150 miles per hour.
Jesus. I wouldn't even trust 1960s tires at that speed.
No, but they had to.
Well, that's why it's got a roll hoop.
And it was a 421 cubic inch V8. And then, so it did not have a tri-power. It actually had a giant four-wheel carburetor and a Muncie four-speed.
Oh yeah, it's a stick.
Yep. And then it had to be a convertible. Yep. Let's see here. And then,
but even the static weight sitting still on that thing was 1,000 pounds, right?
So it had to produce maximum torque at 100 miles an hour.
I mean, okay.
So, okay, this is the thing. It did 110 miles per hour in 30 seconds.
Pulling a load, that's very impressive.
That's really good.
Very impressive.
That is incredible. And And it was 1,000 pounds on the ground.
Right.
But once you
drag,
you attack or like account for air drag, yeah, it was like 4,500. But that is incredible. I absolutely love this story. I heard about this. I was like watching some like random like YouTube video about like
this is the kind of car you find in a barn find. You got to do the research.
No, I was
on.
watching about like airplane stuff and about like weird NASA projects.
And then Whitey Whiteside comes out of nowhere with his
I saw like what is a lifting body? Like this video had been suggested to me like 8
Your
times.
YouTube tangents are wild.
Yeah. But yeah, to calibrate the speedometer.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it in California. Well, Nevada did not have posted speed limits at that time.
Reasonable and prudent.
And so they had to go almost 180 miles an hour on a public highway to calibrate the speedometer.
I'm sure it's fine.
And
I cannot imagine doing 180 in a Pontiac catalytic convertible with the top down.
That is actually documented in NASA like paperwork that they
imagine seeing that shit on that letterhead.
I know, like, that they're going 180 miles an hour
on
an open road in Nevada because in
the 60s.
Yeah, in the 60s.
That is so fucking fast.
I know, it's insane. And so yeah, they ended up using this as a tow car 48 times for 6 months.
Hell yes.
And then, it was towed. 1 second. Pontiac towed the M2F1 for the first time in 63. 48 times in April alone.
Oh, okay.
400 total flights. And then after 400 flights with this car as the tow car, NASA finally gave them a C-47 cargo plane that was so they could do full speed glider testing.
They probably still use the car. I'm like, yeah, but
yeah, no, that's just about the greatest thing I've ever heard of. So the car,
and it looks like just a basement. It's got steelies.
So the car still exists. The car is found in Georgia in like 2015.
Okay.
And it's under restoration back to factory specification.
Yes.
And it's actually being done by the Air Force Test Flight Museum at Edwards Air Force Base for public display. I think it's actually on display now. That was the most recent update I recall.
Very cool.
But yeah, this is just about the greatest thing I've ever heard of.
And I bet it's like completely unopened. Like all the drivetrains probably totally still fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's totally fine. Like there's like probably like
I guess we'll change the oil.
I imagine like they probably just like yanked the engine out of it because they're like, this is a cool engine, and then
Whitey Whiteside needed something for his 32.
I know, right? But I love it. 10 out of 10. Great story. I love that.
Honestly, I love that too. I just love how basic that car looks. I'm like, yeah, like to your point, like it's a white
but it goes
car.
They went like almost 180. They went like well past what the fastest production car in the world at the time was doing on steel wheels and a Pontiac Catalina.
Yeah. And again, with like... They probably opened the engine because they had to do the compression work.
They totally
still,
they had to like build the engine. Like they did all the work on it. But like
it's still factory form factor.
You've not ever been in Jana's Buick. A car from that era, I don't know.
And it's a convertible, and the top looked like it was completely removed. I cannot.
And the lap belts.
The sensation of speed in that at 180 would be...
The sensation of speed in those cars at 60 is terrifying.
I believe you. It's
That's
terrifying
great.
to go 80 in Blubsky. I understand.
That's fantastic. I love it. I think most of my reason I have a sensation of speed is terrifying in the Buicks because I know it's a leaking single circuit brake master cylinder.
It's just the element of danger.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is.
That's what makes you feel alive, Ryan.
It certainly does. It feels like I'm being impaled by my steering wheel. Anyway, let's talk more about Volkswagen.
Our fucking final topic today. The legislation going through the United States political system has been clear as mud when it comes to EV and tax credit. However, this week...
Marketplace talked about this, and it was very funny.
I would be interesting to hear that segment because it has been hilariously bad. Like, it was fine before for, like, the 2015 to 2020, where it's like, yeah, if you get a FEV, it's $3,500. If you get an EV, it's $7,500 until they hit a certain number of units. Great. I can make heads or tails of that. The newest one, it's been like, well, you can get the same 7,500 even on a car that wasn't eligible, but it has to be made in the United States, but it has to be made by union workers, but it also has to have batteries that were sourced by United States component companies. And I'm like, okay, so nothing is eligible.
GM's releasing a VIN calculator, so you can search by GM VIN which cars are and are not. But it only works for GM.
Well, that's fine, because most of the product, and I finally
GM.
have a list of things that are actually eligible. And I'll run it through
by the way,
real
it's
quick,
also not that whole product. It is by VIN of those cars.
The older ones.
No, the current ones. Because it gets even worse.
Yikes.
It gets worse because within those batteries,
oh, no.
the components that are used for the batteries.
Sake.
So if the little top cap is made in like fucking Indonesia, guess who doesn't get their battery credit?
That car.
Yep.
Okay. So, with a grain of salt, possibly on all of them, still clear as mud.
Yeah, it's
This is terrible.
They made it as convoluted as possible. It's ridiculous.
So, some Cadillac Lyrics, some Chevy. Were you aware that they made a Chevy Blazer EV?
I didn't realize that they still made the Blazer.
They brought it back. It's another one of like 90 compact crossovers that all do the exact same thing that are made by Chevy. The Bolt EV, which, boy, howdy, is that a good deal if you can find one? Because those are
if you can find one.
If you can find one. Because they're like $22,000 cars and you get a $7,500 tax credit.
Wow.
They're awesome. Like you can get those. You can get those in the teens if you qualify for the tax credit.
That's great.
Bolt EV, screw that thing. Crossover. Equinox EV.
Never seen that before in my life.
I
think a lot of these things they don't actually make. They just say they do, but they don't actually.
I'm pretty confident that the Silverado EV is not made because there isn't even a blue link on that one. It's
I've
just
never
black text.
seen a Silverado EV.
The F-150 Lightning. So great, other than the fact that we never actually got a cheap one, just like the Model 3. The Tesla Model 3 Performance. Hear that one out, right?
I'm literally looking at this. I don't see it. They have like links to one coming up.
I was going to say, it's in the legislation, but it doesn't exist
2024
yet.
is what they're saying. However, the 2024 one, their stock photo that they're using on Car and Driver is a unfinished bumper, and it is most definitely a EV. This is actually kind of cool. It is a like utility, like a fleet quality. I'm adding the link right now. Look at this. It's like a fleet quality EV truck. Does
it have Steelies?
Yeah. Unfinished Steelies. Unpainted bumper.
Okay.
Giant unpainted bumper.
That's pretty good.
If that actually exists, if I see that in real life,
especially if it starts at 42K,
I'm going to be chuffed if I see that in real life.
Chuffed to bits, one
that
might
is a
say.
Perfect V. That's the correct truck.
Gray plastic bumpers, sorry.
Or brown plastic bumpers.
I'm actually kind of into that.
That'd be Bakelite, so that'd be really cool. Yeah, I'd like Bakelite bumpers. I kind of
want a dark brown plastic bumper now.
Yeah, I want a Bakelite bumper. I want to scratch on a bumper and smell formaldehyde.
There's no... Okay, so the F-150 Lightning we were supposed to get at base for $40,000 doesn't exist. And it would have had Steelies and black plastic bumpers. So that's irksome. But like, I don't understand, and I guess I do, but the Model 3 Performance costs enough, and it has a long enough range where it qualifies for the full tax credit right now.
Yes.
So that's interesting. But of course, Tesla's pricing is going like a roller coaster. Yep. So don't buy one of those. The Model Y, who cares? And the ID4, which is going to all be broken. But that'll lead into only ID4s that are made in North America, which currently aren't in production, but will be soon. So like every ID4 that we currently know about and have, not eligible.
Yep.
Plug-in hybrids, Pacifica hybrid, go get one of those. Those are great. Aviator, not even sure why they make a Lincoln Aviator hybrid. Probably just for the tax credit. But those two are eligible for the $7,500 credit, and they're not even full EV. I just don't understand. I think it's because they're crossovers, technically.
I can't be bothered.
You know what? I started this off with there's some clarity now, and as I read this, I realize there is still no clarity.
No, I have no idea what the fuck is worth anything. I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and buy a Mirage probably, or a VinFast, because I can't imagine trying to deal with that.
You know what? You can be guaranteed that neither one of those have a tax credit, so you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. I can budget for that. Like, that's something I can budget around. The other one is literally a lottery. Like Marketplace described it as a lottery.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's literally...
Dude, it's Russian roulette.
It's so convoluted. They're like, it is a lottery.
I can't even tell you.
They're like, this is no easier than if you can coherently make sense of this, you can make
You know what?
money.
Bravo to you.
You can make money on DraftKings.
Oh yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same amount of gambling.
Ryan, this is arbitrage.
It is
In
literally
cars.
arbitrage.
It's carbitrage.
Yes, this is carbitrage.
This legislation
This
is
is
carbitrage.
the most cursed form of carbitrage. Anyway,
I like that.
I'm vaguely in the market for cheap cars that are very reliable, under $3,000 with under 100,000 miles that I could possibly sell and bring a trailer. Need to make a flip to help pay for the wedding, so that's what it's going to do.
Under 100,000 miles, under $3,000, relatively reliable.
Well, $3,000, around $3,000, relatively reliable. I'm trying to find like a really, 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 really good, like H-body Century.
Oh,
The early 90s, late 80s Centuries.
Yeah.
That would
when
be
they got big again after the Miser.
Well, no, I'm talking like the one where you have like the Iron Buick or a 6-cylinder maybe. Like
No,
like
we
Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra or a Buick Century.
We talked about those
yeah.
H-bodies, I think, last time we
Yeah,
recorded.
we did. I'm looking for either one of those or like a Camry of sorts. But it's going to be something, I need something that I'm not going to be personally attached to.
Oh, don't get a Camry then. Those are going to be great.
Nope, that's the thing. You can get an automatic 4-cylinder Camry.
Yeah,
and
never mind.
gold.
Get a Camry then.
But,
gold. Jewish racing gold. All right.
But like, that or like a Riata would be good.
You can get
If I could find
$3,000.
if I could find a good Trofeo, I'd be thrilled. Because this is also the opportunity for me to buy a car that I would never otherwise buy. Because like the thing is like these are cars specifically
It's a different mindset.
where
I get
like
it.
people pay money on Bring a Trailer because somebody else did the work of sourcing them.
Sure. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they exist in terrible condition.
That's the thing. Oh, it's a great car if you can find one. And
Yeah,
that
find
last part
it.
of the
Yeah,
sentence.
and that's why Bring a Trailer lists them because
Yep.
it's like okay, cool, find it.
Yeah.
Like I know somebody will buy this. There is somebody with a Buick like Grand National that would love a Buick Century or Buick LeSabre T-Type.
Yeah.
To put next to it, to be like, haha, look at my front wheel drive Buick T-Type. To put next to my
It's
actually
got the same
cool car.
steering wheel cap on it.
And black trim. Actually, they gave it a really sick body kit. The T-Type.
The T-Type is arguably cooler than the Grand National.
No, I'm talking about the T-Type LeSabres.
I understand.
Yeah, the T-Type LeSabres look really, really, really cool. But yeah, so I'm vaguely in the market. If I don't find it, I don't find it. I'll just work my ass off at work. But yeah, if I could turn like $3,000 into $6,000, that would help pay for the wedding a whole lot.
Plus, then you get to experience a car that you wouldn't otherwise buy.
Yeah, no, this is a perfect time to be searching for like something that I can turn into some money, and then like I don't feel bad about it because it's also like these are cars where if somebody actually loves them, doesn't buy them, some dipshit like meth head's gonna buy it and ruin it.
Correct.
So that's why I'm kind of looking for specifically these like
And this is going to be a
front wheel
one-owner.
drive 80s 90s cars.
Yeah. One that's probably been off the road for a while too.
Yeah, I mean, minimum amount of maintenance needed to be ideal, but I'm willing to throw some tires on it and throw in a battery.
And that's the
like,
thing. That's why you're shopping for that car. It needs
Yeah.
an oil change, a battery, maybe
like
some
if
filters.
it's like Grandma croaked during the pandemic, and we've had her car floating. Like, dude, I will help you.
Yeah.
I will give you your $3,000 for Grandma's car. You will get $3,000 for a car that you will know that Grandma's car is going to live.
You're going to find this in a townhome tuck under garage in Blaine.
Yeah, no, it's like Grandma's car is going to it's going to live on. It's not going to be like beaten into the ground. Somebody's going to really love it.
Whoever buys this is going to adore the damn thing.
Yeah.
They're seeking it out.
And that's kind of why I want to like look for something like this, because it's like also like there's like I would say like I want like a body rear wheel drive Century with a 305, but that's the problem. I don't think I could sell that if I found it.
I can hear the wheeze.
Oh no, I put like a big I put like dual exhaust like Flowmasters on it, and, like a Harry cam and like an actual carb.
Man.
Yeah. No, that's actually cam more than intake because
Okay.
I've watched people bolt on an Elbrock like 600
And
onto
it
those.
still sounds like,
It does nothing because the fucking valves don't open.
Well,
it's 'cause it's
I
like,
think
well,
it's the overlap, isn't it, for the
Yeah,
emissions shit to try
yeah.
to reduce the pumping loss?
yeah, it's you have like no overlap, no opening, no. It just basically it is the least efficient 305 you've ever seen in your life, but it just barely squeaks past emissions.
And you know what? barely is good enough, and it probably has a converter on it underneath the size of a moon.
There is somebody that like is on crank right here, right now that would love that thing.
Oh my god, those old palladium converters, they're worth so much money.
Yeah, no, I'd probably pay for the car.
It definitely would. But it's, of course, a federal offense to take one off. We would never do that.
No, but I would put on a more efficient one.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, well, on that bombshell.
Thanks, everyone, for
We'll
listening.
see you.
We'll see you next time.